Yeah, hello guys. Hey, this is Osman. I just want to say, first of all, I just want to apologize to the folks. I told them that I told some folks, over the weekend that I was gonna post this maybe Saturday, and I was just busy and unable to do it on Saturday. So I just want to take this minute to apologize to those people. So we have completed the transfer for the for a couple of plots that me and my wife took in Jiboro, and some of the folks that bought from us in Sanyang might say, "Hey, wait a minute, we are waiting on our occupancy. What's going on there?" So the occupancy, the folks that control the occupancy paperwork for Jiboro area and the ones that control the Sanyang area are two different uh, branches. Let me just put it that way. So, you know what I mean? Gambia land paperwork is very fragmented. And when I say it's very fragmented, that's not a bad word. It just means that, different areas handle different things. You know what I mean? So if you go to the Alcalus, have some aspects that they control. Physical planning has some other stuff that they control. The governor's office controls some stuff. CFO controls some stuff. The local government and lands control other stuffs, and there are things that you have to file at the Justice Department. So it's just too many different places that you go to get that paperwork to the final stage, and that makes it hard. You know what I mean? To even know where to go, because you cannot just jump and go to certain places without doing some other stuff. So even to know where to start is definitely a challenge. So that being said, I'm eager to do this paperwork because recently I've been getting a lot of phone calls and talking to some other people who have bought properties from other companies in the Gambia. You know what I mean? And I don't have anything against any company, but they are telling me that, we got all of our paperwork, and then they send me their paperwork because, they trust me now. They send me their contracts just to look at what paperwork they are getting. And when I look at them, they are messing some of the key paperworks. And when I say key paperworks, the paperworks that you need to be able to apply for permits to build or fence, they are missing those paperworks, and those paperworks are the hardest to get. And I will get into those once I get there. So that being said, I will move along. I don't want this video to be a long video. So this is just showing that we get our Alcalo transfer, and I have done this many times. So I'm not gonna spend any time on this. And it's just showing that we got this Alcalo transfer August 27th for these two plots, plot 21 and 31. So we get our physical planning transfer maybe about a couple of weeks later, September 15th. And it's just showing that the whole two plots, 22 by 20, a couple of them 880 meters square. Then we get, that physical planning transfer comes with the sketch plan. So, you can see the sketch plan, and the sketch plan is just showing that, the same plot 21 and 22, and it will just show what they measure, and the sketch will show that the plots are right here. I'm not going to even zoom into it because I have done these things many, many times. Okay, and this is just showing that we went and get a lawyer now on board that helps us out, and put their title deed, deed of conveyance, or title deed is the same, and it's just showing that, Gum Properties bought this property from certain folks here, and it measures this much, 208 meter by 150 altogether, and then they sold this much, 20 by 44. This is the most important for you guys to myself, and my wife. Okay, so this is just showing signatures of different parties that are involved in the title deed, and I'm not going to get into that. So the same thing, I just black out some of the names. That deed of conveyance here, okay, between Gum Properties, and that's me and my wife. And then we went and registered the title deed at the Department of Justice, and this helps you when you start your leasing process if you ever proceed to leasing your property. And then this is just showing that we paid 7,000 at EcoBank, and this starts the difficult process that some of the companies don't even attempt. So based on the contracts that I have seen from other folks, you know what I mean, they do they do certain things for you. Excuse me, I hope that's not on the video here. I'm just drinking my coffee. I apologize, guys. So they do certain things for you, but the completing the transfer is the big deal. So I don't even know if these receipts and paperwork are in the sequence I want them, but I'll move along. So this is all the receipts. I'm not gonna explain all these receipts here. And okay, so this one, most of the companies, they will do this because this is the easy part. So they will go ahead and get income tax clearance certificate, because they can go to any GRA and then they can say, hey, we have a business, we pay taxes, we wanted clearance so that we can pay capital gains for our customers. And then they will get this. It's going to be easy. This is what I was telling people. Capital gains is the easy part. Now anybody that has a business in the Gambia can just walk out there and do the correct applications and stuff. They can go in there and say, hey, I want clearance for my customer. But the hardest part is completing that transfer and getting the occupancy. So you see, once you get this thing, you can just go ahead, walk in and pay the capital gains, and it's going to be 2%. So that's why it's good if a company does this for you. If you were to do it on your own individually, you have to pay 5% or 15%, 5% of the value of the land or 15% of your gain, whichever is higher. And based on my experience with this, because we buy land from other people that don't have business. So we do the capital gains tax the hard way, where we pay either 5% or 15%. And when I say it's the hard way, because at that point you have to go to the offices and try to figure out and calculate the gain and all of that stuff, and they have to approve it or disapprove it. But when you have a business, it's flat 2%. You go there anytime, it's just at flat 2%. But when you go individually, then you have to pay 5% or 15%. So that's why it's important to have a company complete all of your stuff. Okay, so I will just leave that at that. So this is the transfer I'm talking about. So that EcoBank 7,000 that I saw earlier should probably have come right before this screen, but I'm not going to change anything. This is the third or fourth time I'm recording this video, so I want to finish with it so that I can post it. So this is the transfer, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to even read this. You can see all these signatures and these stamps and stuff. They are not easy to get. You know what I mean? You have so many people signing, and so many people are required to sign this. The CFO, the Alcalu, the Bilkama area council CEO. It has to go to other offices to get their okays on this stuff. So this is the tedious process. So based on the contracts that I seen sent to me by some other folks, this is what I haven't seen there. They are telling me they have transfer of land ownership, and when I look at that, the transfer of land ownership is just the Alcalo one, because the Alcalo one is also going to show transfer of land ownership. The physical transfer plan, transfer 2 is going to say that it's transfer of land ownership. So all of those things are transfer of land ownership, but the transfer of land ownership that has to be complete for you to jump into occupancy is this one, and this is not an easy business. So I'll just leave it at that. So when we price this stuff, this is what I looked at. How many times do we have to go to get one signature? You know what I mean? How many times do we have to buy gas at $4 a gallon to go and get this signature? How many hours are these employees sitting at those offices to get this signature? So those are very important when we price this stuff. Thank you. So now once you finish it, now you can go and say, hey, I want to do occupancy. So look at all these signatures here. I'm not going to say who signed what, who did what here. You see, and this occupancy even is good. And I mentioned the occupancy in Jiboro area is different from the occupancy in Sanyang area. So the occupancy in Jiboro area requires even more signatures, and I'm leaving it at that. We did our research. We are not going to tell anybody who signs, who's supposed to stamp and all of that. So we did our research, and it's even require more signatures and more stamps than Sanya. But the folks in the occupancy area that control Sanyang and the ones that control Jiboro are different. So we are much luckier to have the folks that control Jiboro to go ahead and complete this faster than the folks that deal with Sanyang. So when you do occupancy, you have to remember, when you go to those offices, they have to go back to the land. They cannot just say, yes, occupant. They have to go back to the land and do all kind of things that they do there before they approve it. So just to get them to go back to that land is a mountain. So that's the problem that we are having in Sanyang right now. And also the elections coming in the Gambia is not helping. So I'm not a political person. I'm not endorsing anybody here. This is not a political channel or anything like that. So, but that's not helping. You know what I mean? Anytime you go to those offices, it's not unusual. They tell you, they are doing something, and they are not in the office. So, the only thing I'm gonna point here is you can say, hereby giving consent, consent to the application for lease of a proper plot of land situated at Jiboro, for the purpose of residential. So, you know what I mean? Once you do this, you can go and apply for your permit. And I'm telling you, I cannot say that, for me, this channel, we give facts. I don't give opinions, and sometimes I do. And when I do opinions, I'll say it's opinion. So this first thing I'm gonna say is opinion. Can you go and apply for your permits, lease, fencing permit, building permit without occupancy? It's possible. You know what I mean? I cannot rule that out. Somebody has told me before that you can do it in the Gambia. Somebody has told me that. That's an opinion, and the fact that somebody told me that, that's a fact. But you know what I mean? To me, what's a fact is I talked to some folks in the physical planning and in the hierarchy of that, you know what I mean, some top people in that office, and they told me without occupancy in the laws of the Gambia, you cannot apply for any fencing permit or building permit. So, you know what I mean? And that makes sense. Even in the United States where we live, you have to go and get approval that this land is suitable. You do a park test. And people who have bought land and know about lands in this country, you go and do that, and you know what I mean, and that test the soil in different areas and say, hey, this area is suitable to build a land. Then you go apply for your certificate to show that what kind of building you are going to build there, and it has to be approved. So this is what this does. That's why these folks, they have to go back to the land, the occupancy people, and check the land and say, yes, this land, this area is suitable to build residential, is suitable for agriculture, is suitable for business, before they put their stamp on it. So I will just leave it at that. And this one is even good because it shows that, you know what I mean, they are doing just the occupancy here, but they said, hey, from this occupancy, you can go lease this, and we'll attach that, and so that, hey, you can go, you can pay a fee, and that fee will gear you up towards leasing. You pay all these fees, and I'm not going to explain where you pay this and how it goes. So finally, you get a governor's signature. So to complete your occupancy, you need to go and get a governor's signature. And this is not an easy task. So I will just leave it at that. So when they printed this out from their own office there, their cartridges are low, and they said because of the election, they have ordered stuff and they are just taking too long to get there. So they told us that, once we can keep this, and once they get things going on after the election, we can come back again, and they will go ahead and print it out again for us. But we already paid all of our fees, and it should be quick, one-day thing, and they will give it to us. And I'm okay with that because this is for me and my wife, so I'm like, it's not a big deal as long as we have it. That's all. That's good. So you can see this was dated November 19. So we started this August 27, August, if I'm correct, August 27, October, August, September, October, November. So less than 3 months, if I'm correct, right? August 27, September, October, November. So less than 3 months we complete all of this stuff. That's why I was telling people they need to be careful. This is a lot of work, and I think to do it in less than 3 months is a big achievement, and this is our first one. So we are saying that, and I'm never going to put a time frame on this one. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to hear me tell you that we'll complete this for you in 3 months. We'll complete it for you. But you know what I mean? I think in less than 3 months completed this is a big achievement, and this is the initial one. So I'm gonna say on the limb here that moving forward, I believe, and this is not a fact, I believe it's gonna be much easier to do this next time, because now we know where to go, we know what the players are, we know what to expect, we know who is where and things like that. And we have gathered telephone numbers as we move around. That's what we do on these different players. So I think that now moving forward, it's going to be much, much, much easier for us to do this. So, you know what I mean? And I mentioned that to lease it becomes easy because you have the occupancy is already telling you that, hey, you can move from this occupancy now, you can move and lease it for 99 years. And you know what I mean? For 99 years, and these are the fees. and also you have registered it with the Justice Department. You have a deed, title deed there. So those two things together can be easy for you to move to leasing. I have mentioned it before. I am not in no hurry to lease a property in Jiboro. Leasing is expensive. Many people have told me, and we have done it for our property that we have in Kirsering, and it's expensive and it's time consuming. So, and I have explained the difference between leasing and freehold and before, and I'm not going to get into those stuff here. But I just want to say that, this is the process. So we are ready. And I hope people can understand that, you know what I mean? It's not just the forms and the places that you go to, you pay. So